If you've run MOTS-c and felt more trained instead of more capable, and everyone's hyped it up, right? You're gonna feel more energetic. That's not the peptide failing. That's the peptide doing exactly what it's designed to do, but it was on a system that wasn't ready for it. You see, MOTS-c is actually a small signaling peptide encoded in your mitochondrial DNA. Your own mitochondria produce it naturally. Remember, mitochondria are like the batteries of your cells. When you inject it, you're not introducing something foreign, you're reinforcing one of the signals that your cells already know how to respond to. But here's the catch: if your mitochondria are damaged, that reinforced signal hits a broken system. And suddenly there's more stress on something that was already struggling. That's why some people run this compound and feel like a completely different person. They feel tons of energy, like they've been more active, even if they haven't been. But others, they feel like they went backwards. They can actually feel worse. And the difference comes down to one step that most protocols just completely skip. I'm Dr. Jones, DC, and I lead a nationwide telemedicine clinic. I've guided thousands of patients through peptide protocols, and MOTS-c I have run personally as a metabolic tune-up. In this video, I'm gonna give you what most MOTS-c content doesn't. The behind the curtain breakdown of where the name exercise in a bottle actually comes from, how this works at a cellular level, and then we're gonna get into the exact sequencing steps that makes the difference between remarkable results and feeling worse than before you even started. And trust me, I've seen enough of those cases. So here's what's actually happening. You see, your cells, they have a built-in energy sensor. Researchers call it AMPK. But all you need to know is that it's like a master switch. So when it flips, your entire metabolic program shifts into high output mode. Exercise also flips that switch. And I wanna say this, I'm never recommending that you stop exercising and just take this peptide. Caloric restriction flips it on as well. MOTS-c activates that switch through upstream metabolic changes. Now, without either of those things needing to happen first, that's important. Once that switch activates, three things happen in sequence. Your body can start building new mitochondria, which means more cellular batteries added to your energy system. AMPK activation is gonna boost insulin-independent glucose uptake into your muscle cells. And those cells, they become more efficient at converting that all into fuel. And here's the part worth knowing for anyone dealing with insulin resistance. By activating AMPK, MOTS-c can enhance glucose uptake through insulin-independent mechanisms, which can help even when insulin signaling is impaired. In preclinical models, MOTS-c's AMP activation is linked to increased fatty oxidation. So your body's pulling from stored fat at a higher rate. We want to burn all this stuff up to meet the elevated energy demand. More output, more efficiency. That's the program that your cells run after an intense workout. Pay attention to that, right? MOTS-c is released after intense workouts, and MOTS-c itself activates that program without the workout. That's just what it does. You see, that's where the name comes from, exercise in a bottle. It's not a marketing phrase. The actual cascade, right, is why it is named that. And what makes it distinct from other AMP activators, the effects go deeper than the switch. What we see clinically and what the research increasingly supports is a broader mitochondrial upgrade, direct improvements in mitochondrial growth, reduced cellular inflammation, and insulin resistance improvements that run through mechanisms beyond AMPK activation alone. There are other compounds in the space, right? And we got to mention them. Sloop 332, also an exercise mimetic, but this is an ERR nuclear receptor agonist, and that mimics some exercise-like metabolic effects. Then you have IACAR, which is a synthetic AMP analog, and that one directly activates AMPK as well. Now, both reach similar metabolic endpoints, but through distinct upstream mechanisms than MOTS-c. And the distinction that matters most is this: those are synthetic molecules working from the outside in, but MOTS-c is encoded in your mitochondrial DNA. So your cells, they already produce it. We're just reinforcing a signal that's native to your biology, not forcing one that isn't. Now, one more thing that's worth knowing about this compound. So your natural MOTS-c levels, they decline with age and are lower in people with obesity and metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes. The more your metabolic health has declined, the lower those levels tend to be. The people who need it the most are walking around with the least of it. Supplementing it closes that gap. So if you're at the point where you want MOTS-c prescribed correctly through a 503A pharmacy with a medical team that's reachable when questions come up, you can text the number on the screen or check out the link in the description to book a free discovery call and find out more. And then they'll give you an idea of pricing and programs and how our whole medical team works. So let's get into exactly why the sequencing step determines everything. everything. So everything that I just walked you through assumes that your mitochondria are functional to begin with. If they're not, what happens is the opposite of what you'd be expecting. So think of it like flooring a car that's already misfiring. More fuel doesn't just fix the misfire. It just adds stress to an engine that was already struggling. You see, MOTS-c tells your mitochondria to ramp up energy production. If those mitochondria are damaged or under chronic stress, what we see clinically is that you're not amplifying output. You're actually adding demand to a system that doesn't have the capacity to respond. And I don't think that's what you want. And this is frustrating for so many of you guys, because I know a lot of you have ran MOTS-c and you were expecting to get all hyped up in Super Saiyan mode if you've seen some of those videos out there. More energy, right? But that didn't happen. And in fact, some of you got nothing. Keep watching, because I'm going to explain what happened, what went wrong, and ensure that you know how to use this peptide effectively moving forward. Understand that they weren't the exception. What you were missing is that you didn't know the step that comes first before MOTS-c. So here's the clinical reality. Mitochondrial dysfunction is far more common than most people realize. You see, chronic metabolic stress, including underfueling and overtraining without adequate recovery, can actually push the mitochondria from adaptive responses towards dysfunction over time, okay? They become more fragmented. They generate more reactive oxygen species, AKA free radicals. You don't want free radicals because they run around causing all sorts of bad things to happen to your cells. You produce less ATP, right? That's your energy. You shift from efficient powerhouses towards a more damaging state. And when a metabolic activator hits that state, that's what we see clinically is increasing dysfunction before any performance benefits appear. And I think that's why a lot of you felt like crap when you took it, or you had no benefit. So before MOTS-c, the protocol calls for repair. And that's where SS31 comes in. So SS31 is a mitochondria targeted peptide that works on the inner membrane, binding to cardiolipin to help stabilize the electron transport and reduce oxidative damage. So think of it as restoring the conditions for clean energy production. It's not adding capacity, it's just clearing what was blocking it. So let's map this out, because this is the sequence that determines everything. So foundation first, and then amplify. SS31 restores mitochondrial integrity, and once that foundation is solid, MOTS-c has something worth amplifying. That's the sequence, and it's the reason two people can run the exact same compound and just have completely different results. I call this the foundation first principle. And it's not just here, this happens to be a very common theme in a lot of peptides. MOTS-c is the amplifier. An amplifier on a restored system produces exactly what you're looking for. But an amplifier on a compromised system has nothing worth amplifying. You see, the people that we work with who skipped the repair phase and went straight to MOTS-c, it comes up repeatedly. Tends to be the ones who report no results or outright fatigue. The ones who ran SS31 first, different results entirely. Now, if you want me to do a full video on SS31, exactly how it stabilizes the inner mitochondrial membrane, the protocols that we use, and how to know when you've done enough repair before adding MOTS-c, let me know in the comments if that would be helpful to you. So let's get into the actual protocol. And I want to come back to what's on the screen for a minute, because your repair phase determines your entry point. And if you've run a full SS31 cycle and you had time to restore, then you're ready for the right side of that, okay? But if you haven't, that's where you need to start. You see, the MOTS-c protocol looks like this: 10 milligrams once a week sub-Q injection, right into the fat tissue. And morning is the right timing just in case you do get the energy boost and you don't want to be restless at night. The metabolic activation is running during your waking hours when energy demand is at its highest. So in our clinic, we find the best results. They land around 8 weeks. We run it to maybe 12 weeks max based on practitioner experience rather than formal trial data. Of course, a lot of the data is still emerging. There's also a front-loaded option that some practitioners use, including ours. We run it 3 times per week for the first 2 weeks before dropping to the weekly maintenance dose, and it helps hit saturation faster. It's an intensity option, not a requirement. Best suited for people who want to push harder at the start of their cycle. Now, here's where MOTS-c actually sits in a complete stack. And this is the piece that tells you exactly when to add it. I use what I call the 3 system framework for sequencing these metabolic tools. System 1 is appetite control, typically a GLP-1 with structured fasting. System 2 is fatty mobilization, getting your body to actually tap into and release the stored fat for fuel. And then system 3 is metabolic enhancement. That's where the MOTS-c lives. So MOTS-c is not your first line. You don't just open with it, right? You get systems 1 and 2 working first. You get appetite control dialed in, fat mobilization happening, right? Free up the fat. Then MOTS-c is what breaks the ceiling. It takes the system that's already moving and pushes the output farther. You add it before the foundation is working and you're back to the problem that we talked about earlier. So for anybody already on a GLP-1, this is where it gets interesting. Retatrutide, for example, and MOTS-c is one of the most compelling combinations that we've been running. And here's the rationale. So Retatrutide, as you know, a triple agonist, GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon receptors, drives appetite reduction, increases energy expenditure, substantial fat loss comes along with it. You add MOTS-c, which targets the mitochondrial layer on top of that, the logic being that improved glucose handling and fat oxidation from the energy deficit that the GLP-1 is already creating. Patients who plateau on a GLP-1 and they add MOTS-c at the right point often see the scale start moving again. You see, body composition continues shifting. Energy holds or improves rather than declines. Now let me know in the comments, what is your MOTS-c experience? What did you run? What was the protocol, the dose, and what you felt? Did you feel better? Did you feel floored? Or did you feel nada? And I'll jump in and tell you what I'd look at based on what I see with people that we work with in our clinic. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing already? Homie? Hit that button now, because the kind of protocol breakdown that you're seeing in this video is what I put out every single week, and be sure to turn on your bell. So let's talk about what this actually looks like in our practice, when the sequencing is right, repair phase completed, MOTS-c added. So remember, systems 1 and 2 already established, right? Here's what we see across patients. Energy stabilizes, not a stimulant-like effect. What people describe as sustained output, more capacity throughout the day, less afternoon drop, better ability to push through training without the same accumulation of fatigue. Body composition, of course, starts shifting. People who've been holding stubborn fat despite doing most things right, they start to see improvement, shifting in ways that diet and training alone weren't producing. And then there's insulin sensitivity. This is one of the most significant clinical effects. The insulin-independent glucose uptake mechanisms MOTS-c activates through AMPK have a real impact on how the body handles blood sugar, especially for anybody running a GLP-1 or dealing with metabolic dysfunction alongside their other goals. The cases that stand out the most are the GLP-1 stackers who have plateaued. One patient went from 14% body fat down to 9% after adding MOTS-c correctly to a Retatrutide protocol. Another one of ours dropped 60 pounds and reversed a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. And these weren't people starting from scratch. They were already doing most things right. So MOTS-c was the layer that broke the ceiling. Recovery time is another finding that shows up repeatedly. People running hard training blocks report faster bounce back between sessions, less soreness accumulation, more capacity to go again sooner. So here's a quick question before we get to the last piece, and take a second with this, before the answer tells you exactly where you should start in this protocol. So if you're at the point where you've done the research, you understand the sequencing, and you want SS31 and MOTS-c prescribed correctly through a medical team and from a 503A compounding pharmacy, and a medical team that you can actually reach when questions come up, that's what we're built for. Here's what we do differently. See, most 503A clinics, they ship the prescription and that's it, right? No one to text when something comes up. From us, you're gonna get your SS31 and MOTS-c from our 503A pharmacy, and you get a medical team that's reachable, text or phone, for the moments when questions arise. Real humans, not a freaking ticket system, not scheduled check-ins, on-demand clinical backup for people running their own protocols. Again, you can text them on the screen or check out the link in the description to book your free discovery call, and you'll talk with one of our patient educators who'll get a read for what you're looking to run, walk through whether it's a fit, and explain how the peptide program works. And if you move forward, the medical team designs the protocol on that next call, and after that, the sky's the limit. Now, quick note before you book that, we provide medical oversight on peptides that we prescribe. If you've already got your MOTS-c or SS31 from another source and you're looking for clinical support on those peptides, that's not what we offer. And if peptides are on your radar because you're really trying to fix a stubborn weight problem at the root, we run programs that go deeper than peptides alone. Text the same number either way. And if you want to understand exactly how SS31 stabilizes the inner mitochondrial membrane before adding MOTS-c, I made a full video on just that. There it is right there. Check it out, guys. We'll see you later.